Who?
He had some points last year.
He had one game where he had 4 touchdowns. That's about it.
That was phenomenal in the record book.
Did you start him?
You gotta talk to my lawyer about that. No comment on that one. I made one mistake in our league, and I'm still on top, baby.
I don't know. You got a tough schedule coming up. You might lose out, and I'm kind of hopeful for that.
Who am I playing this week?
Well,
I think I'm playing Nick.
Well, I got your roster up right now. Who are going to be your 3 keepers going into next year? Are you still going to use a keeper on Lynch? Because Lynch, I don't know, wearing down, hitting that running back wall. I think he's about 30 years of age. That's typically where it is, and Seattle might not even keep him around next year.
We'll see. I don't have to decide until the offseason, right? Before we draft, right?
I think you should keep her 2 quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
And then also Brian Quick.
Well, we'll see about Quick.
And Bishop Sankey.
How about Brandon Davis? Should I keep him too?
And Marvin Jones again.
Okay, wait. I'm keeping 12 people now. We're going a little too far here.
Nick's already got his 12 draft picks locked up for next year.
Yeah. The thing about football. I mean, things change year to year. I mean, people you think are going to be great are on the injured reserve thing. God damn it, Marvin Jones.
Now, Brent, the guy in the league that we talked about earlier, pointed out an interesting little factoid that I only have 2 of the original 15 guys that I drafted onto my team, including the 3 keepers. Now, see, I don't know if I just like making moves and making trades of people, or if I'm just really shitty at drafting.
Yeah, this has been an unusual year. I mean, who knew all these injuries would happen to so many people? Some people become breakout stars. You gotta actively watch the game and pick up the ones who are doing hot in order to keep winning.
Because the 3 keepers that came into the league with were Cordero, Doug Martin, and Alfred Morris. Now
Martin.
I traded Morris. I eventually traded Martin for like 5 cents on the dollar, and Cordero doesn't look long for this world. I know he got a touchdown Sunday, but that was a garbage touchdown. He doesn't look right. He's still not an NFL caliber wide receiver yet, and yeah, who knows. I am pretty happy that I traded for McKinnon, and since there are no moral judgments in fantasy football, I did pick up Adrian. Since this is a keeper league and all.
Oh, yeah, okay. I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, and then as soon as Adrian is running the ball for the Raiders next year, I think he's going to go off.
You don't think he's going to go Dallas?
That would be the most Dallas thing to do, because DeMarco Murray is in a contract year, so Murray still might get hurt this year, or Jerry Jones might just let him walk and then trade like a 3rd-round pick to the Vikings for Adrian, which is something that they'll take, because I think the Vikings are just going to cut Adrian either way because of the legal troubles, his age, his contract coming up and remaining, and the small cap hit they would take if they do just cut him. I think that all plays into a reason why Adrian's never going to play for the Vikings again. And I could see that scenario happening. Jerry Jones didn't get his way on Manziel, even though it is working out, so you might put his foot down and be like, all right, this is what's happening. We're getting Adrian, we're running the ball.
Is that you in
I'm Jerry Jones.
Oh man, you're like a natural Frank Caliendo there.
I thought you were gonna say Nash Bridges.
You're kind of like that, but no.
I still think it makes too much sense. You know what I mean? Because Jerry Jones is getting up there in age, and this could be his one little walk out the door. I'm going to bring Adrian in. Adrian still has a very small outside chance at the all-time rushing record, which is held by Emmitt Smith, the Cowboy. And Emmitt Smith set the record as a Cowboy. Wouldn't Jerry love 4 or 5 seasons down the road, if Adrian is still managing to play at like 34, 35 years of age, that Adrian breaks the record in Cowboy Stadium in Jerry World with Emmitt Smith on hand, and it's the biggest Cowboy masturbation love fest ever.
Very optimistic.
Ever.
Well, kind of backtracking a little bit. Where is AP? Like, are people tracking him? Like where is he doing all this time? Is he staying in Minnesota, or is he staying in Texas, where all this, where all the trial stuff is taking place?
Well, he was in Minnesota for a spell. He's with the team when, Ziggy was like, all right, he's going to play. And then they got all that backlash and sponsors start pulling out. And then they're like, all right, he's not going to play because it's the right thing to do. And I think he has been in Minnesota some. He's definitely been down in Texas. And then he had that whole weed thing. I don't even remember if anything's come out of that. I don't think his bond's been revoked. And set for trial should be coming up January, I believe, unless some other cases get dropped from the docket. And yeah, Adrian, he's going to fight this, and that's his right to. And we'll see how it plays out, because even if he's found not guilty somehow, and I think he'll still be subject to discipline from the NFL. And this whole weed thing, I don't know if that plays a part, since this is his first offense in that, in the substance abuse program. And I guess we'll see. I think he'll definitely be on another team 2015. Will he be suspended for maybe like the first 4 or 6 games of the 2015 season? I don't know. But he definitely won't be in Minnesota, so he won't be our problem.
I wonder if anyone's going to go after him for the weed. I mean, like...
Well, it was a part of his bond agreement from the charges that you got to have a clean piss test, and if you break that,
did the results come out yet?
I don't know. I've been following it, but basically, he admitted to the sample collector that he smoked a little weed, and it would be funny though if his piss test came back clean.
That's totally what I was thinking in the back of my head. Like what if it this a little puff, and it just even show up, but like admitting it. I wonder what whoever the drug dealer was who the pot the weed is thinking. Is like, you think he's going to one of his baby mamas thinking, hey, look, I'm on TV. AP, he got weed.
I don't think Adrian specifically brought in a drug dealer. Probably just someone in his entourage was relaxing. Adrian, this has got to be a stressful time for him, and definitely not condoning his actions, as it was dumb for him to do, as it was part of his bond agreement. But probably took a little something, try and take the edge off a little bit. Just like someone having a drink or something else. And see, the thing about Adrian is that he's brutally honest, and he wasn't going to lie in that spot. And I think that's good and bad. It is kind of refreshing because he has set his mind a lot, as a player with football related stuff. Because remember when he came out saying that Michael Vick would make the Vikings a playoff team.
Oh. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm assuming that's where you're going to put in that sound effect.
Yeah. And he doesn't really have filter. He speaks his mind, and that is refreshing. But I think that also played into when he was talking to police about the child abuse things. He was honest. He said his piece, said what he did, and he wasn't going to backtrack. And I think that same thing happened with the drug sample collectors. Like, I smoked a little weed. What of it? Oh, all right. Can't do that? All right.
Can I go back a second? When we were talking about the sponsorships that pulled out because of Adrian, did any of them come back?
Radisson was pretty much the only headliner that dropped out. They have not come back. Pepsi is the new sponsor on the press conference backgrounds. I think that was revealed the other day this week.
Okay.
But it is kind of sad because Adrian was one of my favorite Vikings players, and this fall from grace was just so quick and wrong, and well, not wrong as he kind of made his own bed in this, and I've already said my piece on the Purple Fruin podcast that I find his actions atrocious and his explaining away, and but we don't really need to get into that. I merely brought him up because of fantasy football purposes, because I'm a wheeler and dealer. Lamar Miller, Mo Sanu, Ronnie Hillman, Odell Beckham Jr. Let's do this. I didn't even know who half these people were at the start of the season.
That's what makes fantasy awesome. You're learning about all these players who they probably were in the league for years, just random third, fourth wide receivers that are now just making a big break now.
I'm going to ride that to the championship. And since we are in opposite divisions, I'm in the country and you're in the Western Division because we're funny like that. We're going to meet in the championship, Nick, and I'm going to take the T-Jack away from you. Oh, wait, you don't even have the T-Jack.
No, Brian does.
Yeah. Also, our fantasy football trophy is a plate which has previous winners inscribed on it and a Tavares Jackson Vikings jersey. Come on, baby.
The cricket noises going on right now.
The Jack. All right, touching on college football real quick because it would be rude not to. Number 2, Florida State beat number 5 Notre Dame in a classic showdown, 31-27 down in Tallahassee. Jameis Winston played, even though there was some question that he might not have. Notre Dame scored what appeared to be the game-winning touchdown late in the game. A goal send to Dave Robinson's kid, but offensive pass interference was called correctly, I guess. But Notre Dame covered the 11.5, and that's all that matters. Bye-bye.
Oh, you had to bring that. I was watching clips of it 2 nights ago. I pulled up on ESPN. Gosh, I cannot believe they called offensive. I'm someone who doesn't know anything about penalties and any type of stuff, but like what a time for a ref to look at that position, look right there, and make a call on that.
Well, it was so blatant, and Notre Dame got away with a similar play like that early in the game, and I think Jimbo Fisher pulled her aside like, hey, ref, you got to watch him on the holds, offense pass interference. That's my Jimbo Fisher impression. That's actually pretty spot on. That actually
sound good. Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher talks like his actual Christian given name is Jimbo. It's not like James or Jim or anything like that. No, it's Jimbo on the birth certificate.
Overall, though, I mean, it was a good game. I mean, good scoring game. Right?
Jameis Winston's our quarterback.
Poor Quasimodo on that team.
Yeah, but it is refreshing. Notre Dame did play physical. They were able to stack up man for man against Florida State. They didn't get trucked like in the 2012 championship against Alabama. And it is refreshing if they can run the table. I think they still have a shot to make the Final Four, depending on how this plays out. But overall, kind of a meh week for college football. Not a ton of great games. This Florida State Notre Dame one being the exception. Alabama jacked poor Claire's Texas A&M Aggies 59-0. Sack Claire.
I was assuming maybe this game had something to do with her being sick because I didn't know exactly why she was.
No, it's a real shame that, or it's a real good thing that Kenny Hill got Kenny Trill trademarked because he's going to need it. He's been selling a lot of T-shirts. The Gophers. Oh, what am I talking about? No great games. The Gophers survived 39-38 at home against hapless Purdue. I'm going to start saying we now because I'm on the bandwagon. 6-1, 3-0 in the Big Ten. Alone at the top of the Big Ten West, but really the Big Ten Legends division. Nick, are you excited?
Yeah, I live a couple miles from the Gopher Stadium. I'm very honored that, obviously I did not go to U of M. Being from Minnesota, I'm going to consider it that being my my alum. So
there are default geographical college football team, even though they sucked when we were growing up and as young adults. I mean, the Glenn Mason years were all right, but then the Tim Brewster was vomit.
Being from Minnesota, I'm sure you've talked about being a Minnesota fan. It's hard because none of our teams produce that well.
Hashtag Minnesota sports.
Yeah, the Lynx are good too, but women's sports, we'll forget that. Go for it. It's great to see a football team, even though it's not the NFL. It's great to see a Minnesota football team that's going to get good recognition. Hopefully, we're going to make it to a popular bowl game this year. Something that's not the, like the Roundies Bowl.
The Gophers are going to end up 6-7, and they'll play in like the Inside.com Bowl. Or whatever the lowest tier Big Ten Bowl is.
The Big Pen Bowl.
Although Wisconsin's down this year, I think Iowa can get got as well. And since we already beat Michigan, I think the Gophers, might bring home